we know a lot about using maybe Ancestry or Family Search, but then if we sign on to or subscribe to MyHeritage, it's set up differently. And this is a way to provide a reference and just to learn how to more effectively use a new resource. So I'll let him describe it in more detail, but I think you'll really enjoy the presentation and the website.
Okay, thank you very much, Elsie. We can have a brief Q&A at the end, so this presentation will take probably about 50 minutes or so. All right, so the Family History Guide, as Elsie mentioned, it's free, and that's a good thing. We didn't want there to be any cost or subscription barriers to the Family History Guide. There's not even any advertising on the site. We're funded by donations, both private, corporate, and so it's kind of similar in appearance to Family Search from that aspect. Here's the address here, thefhguide.com. Even though it says .com, it is a free site, and it's a 501c3 organization. So that's how we offer tax-deductible donations. All right, so first of all, let's take a look at the homepage here. This is what we're seeing now. And the key to navigating around the Family History Guide website is here in these top menus. So you'll notice if I mouse over these items, you'll see drop-down menus appear. And you can pretty much get anywhere you need to go in the Family History Guide by using these drop-down menus. Pretty easy to do. Okay, a few more things on the homepage that would be of interest. Up here in the upper left, there is a select language button. So I can click, and for example, if I wanted to translate the website into Spanish, I could do that. And I'm going to go back here and go back to English. So if you have people who speak different languages, this is a good way to get them involved in family history as well. We also have a search button here. So I'm going to click this magnifying glass in the upper left. And this does a Google search within the Family History Guide website. This is not for searching external websites. It's only within the Family History Guide. So if I wanted to find out a place in the Family History Guide where it talked about adoption records, for example, I could click that, find an entry here, and go immediately to where it talks about exploring adoption records. So that's a pretty handy way to find what you need to by using the blue magnifying glass for whatever topic that you're interested in. And if you're ever wondering, how do I get back to the home page if you've gone off to some other page in the Family History Guide, it's easy to do. All you have to do is click the logo link here in the upper left, and that takes you back to the home page. Okay, all right, then Steve, I'll just guide you through what to click on, and I'll be independently clicking, and hopefully we'll be seeing the same thing. Okay, so Steve, click today's tip. And as I was mentioning, and Steve, stop me if I'm disconnected or you're not able to find anything. Yeah, just interject. Okay, so today's tip, we run these Monday through Friday, and there is a link at the bottom of that today's tip that says see all tips. And when you click that, then you go to a page that has hundreds of tips, and you're welcome to browse through those and use any that are helpful to you. Now all of these windows open separately, so you can click the tab to close it, so you can get it out of the way. And to close today's tip, you just click the title, today's tip, and you should be back to the original homepage. Okay, so let's go over to the intro menu. Oh, but before I show you that, we've been talking about this whole concept of narrow windows. Some people ask us if the Family History Guide has an app, and the answer to that is no, there's no app, because the website automatically detects what type of device you're using and reformats the screens accordingly. So if you're on a tablet, for instance, it would look more like this, and you see the 3-line item. So Steve, if you could squeeze your browsing window to the left until you see the three-line item in the upper right. And then when you click on that three-line item, then you'll see the menus off to the left there. And if you widen the window back to where it was, then the menus across the top appear. And this is for desktop. So if you're on a phone or a laptop, the three-line items menu item would be what you would be using. Okay, we're going to go over to the intro menu. This is the first menu there in the upper left if you're on the desktop view. And first thing I want to talk about is get started. It's the first item there, and it's also available down here that says click to get started, either way. So let's go to that get started page, and here you'll see some first steps. So if you're beginning in family history genealogy, here's some things you can do. Also, as Elsie mentioned, you can learn any of these platforms like Family Search, Ancestry, MyHeritage, Find My Past, with step-by-step instructions. So this is a good place to get started, and then there's activities and basics of research. So this is a good place to get started with genealogy or help someone else get started as well. Okay, one other thing to show in the intro menu, about halfway down, there's the learning system. So let's click on that link, the learning system. And the Family History Guide is built on a powerful but flexible learning system. So it helps you know what to do next, but it also allows you the opportunity and the flexibility to go in different directions. This picture here basically explains visually the concept behind the learning system. We have projects, and inside the projects are goals, and inside goals are choices. Projects, goals, and choices. And they represent large, medium, and small boxes of information. And inside the choices are where we have the steps, step-by-step instructions, and the links to articles and videos. So to illustrate that, let's actually go to one of the projects. Let's go up here to Family Search in the top menu. And the first item under that says number 1 family tree. All of these projects are listed down here. So let's open up number 1 family tree. Okay, and here's your project, family tree, and the goals for the project are listed across the very top of the screen underneath the menus. You'll see navigate, view details, children, spouses, so forth. We're currently in goal number 1, navigate, or sign in and navigation. So if I scroll down gradually, you'll see some choices here. These are the smaller boxes of information, and they have links to articles and videos and step-by-step instructions. This is where the meat of the content is in the Family History Guide, in these choices. But rather than having to scroll all the way down and see choice B and choice C and so forth, there's an easy way to see just the titles of the choices. So up in the goal area where you had goals 1 through 14, I guess here, there is a close choices button. Steve, hopefully you can see that close choices button in the top goals area. When you click that, then you will see just the titles for the choices A through G here, and all the intervening text is hidden. So that way you can click on any particular choice that you're interested, like C if you want to, and it reveals the hidden text again. Click it again and it hides it. So this is a good way to zero in on what you're particularly interested in. Back up in the goals menu there, that button that used to say close choices now says open choices. So if you click it again, all of the choices are automatically opened up again for you. In choice A, and at the beginning of each choice, there is a summary. So if I click the summary, it shows a 3 bullet summary list of what you'll learn in that particular choice. And I can close the summary again. If I scroll down to the end, you will see some resources. These are links to articles and videos. So there's various ways to learn. You can follow the step-by-step instructions, and you can go out to particular articles to learn more. For example, What are the rules for my username and password? I could click that article and it goes out to a family search article that gives you more information on that. I can close that window as well. And at the end of a particular choice, you have exercises. So I click the exercises link, and if I'm good at this particular choice, I can do what it says here. And if I'm proficient, I can do what it says there. So good and proficient for exercises. Okay, the important thing to understand is that the entire learning system is built on these goals, projects, goals, and choices. And all of the rest of them work pretty much the same way. So since you've seen this one, the rest of them look pretty similar to that. So if I go over to Ancestry here, if I'm learning about Ancestry and I go to the family tree, I could look down here and I see, of course, the screenshots now are specific to Ancestry. And you've got steps and goals and choices and resources, that type of thing. So very similar. Okay, so we're going to skip over a lot of things here in the Family History Guide, but basically that's how you get around in the learning system. Let's hop over to project number 4, Discover. And this is where we do basic research. There's a companion project in Ancestry, Research, and MyHeritage, and Find My Past. Let's
Okay,
use,
where are you again?
okay, I'm up at the Family Search menu up at the top, and then we're going to
You
go
were
to,
on Ancestry though. Do you want to stay on that one?
no, we don't need to, but you can just go, you don't need to change. All you need to do is go to the top menu and hover over Family Search, for example, and then select project number 4, Discover.
I'm there. Go.
Okay, great. Okay, project number 4, Discover. So let's talk about some of the goals here. This is getting you into research. The nice thing that we've done about in the Family History Guide is we've assembled best of the best industry leading articles and videos. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel or do all of that heavy lifting to figure out how am I going to learn about research. So first goal here, get organized. And you can actually close choices on it if you want to in that upper header area to see what the particular choices are and open them again. Let's just quickly hop over to goal number 2 in the upper area. This is learn the basics. And here we've got some great introductory skill assessments and ways that you can build beginning research skills, talking about research principles, basic concepts, so forth. Goal number 3 in the goal area at the top is form a strategy. We have an introductory video in goal number 3, as well as choices about creating and using different research strategies, and some great practical advice here. Okay, so these first 3 goals are across the top, plus the ones towards the end, 6 through like 9, those are all generic or shared across Ancestry, MyHeritage, and Find My Past. These ones that say, that have an FS in the title, like goal number 4, Family Search Record Searches, those are specific to Family Search. So you have the generic ones and you have the specific ones. So let's open up goal number 5, Family Search Research Tools. And let's try a close choices. Click that button up in the goals area. And you'll see that we have all these tools available from the family search perspective on their platform. Genealogies, catalog, books, historical images, the family search wiki, surname lists, and you can explore any of those that you like. Going on up in the goals area to goal number 6, develop search skills. Let's open that. And this gives you some great tips on developing basic skills in searching records. So we're talking about wildcards, specific versus general searches, how to use Google, all these types of things to help in your online searches. Number 7, solve problems. Goal number 7 at the top. I like this one. Let's do a closed choices on this one, the close choices button at the top. And we've got learning how to avoid common mistakes. Um, Number E is creative approaches to solve problems in non-typical ways. This has some great tips for thinking outside the box in your research problems and challenges that you may be facing. And G, know what alternatives you can try when your research is slowed or stopped. So this is the famous brick wall type of approach. When you've hit a wall, what are the alternatives you have and how do you try to break through those walls in research? Okay, so that's a look. Again, if you went up to Ancestry, for example, so Steve, if you go up to Ancestry in the top menu and then click number 4, Project 4 Research, if you look at the goal list there, you'll see, oh, it's the same, except that you have some particular AN or Ancestry um, goals, like searching collections, analyzing search results, homepage options that are specific to Ancestry. So the idea is you could, if you're interested in just one platform, you could pretty much stay there. Or if you want to cross over, you can, share the topics or however you want to approach that. Okay, let's go back to Family Search, for example, the top menu. Next thing, right after Discover, is an item called Knowledge Base. So let's click that. There's also the Knowledge Base in the other Ancestry and other menus as well. Okay, so this is a research knowledge base for general research and United States research. And what we've done here is we've condensed little nuggets of information in ways that you can find them pretty easily. So we were just talking about brick walls. If you go up to the top menu with all of these items here, or not the top menu, the KB topics, it's like the goals area. It has an alphabetical list of topics. One of them is brick walls. For example, if I click that, I can learn about brick walls, and you see some bullet points here. You can open and close those links. Neighbors and relatives, cluster research. This is a good way to just find some nuggets of information and basically raise your family history IQ a bit at a time. And your way of exploring this will be different from my way. And that's kind of the fun part about the Family History Guide, is you can explore things that you're interested in, and it's pretty easy to find what you need and explore what you're into. And you can do it bits and pieces at a time, so you don't have to just start at one place and keep going and going, for hours on end on a particular thing. You can grab nuggets of information that are specific and helpful to what you need to do. Okay, so this is a good place to explore here. Let's go back up to the Family Search menu. And one other thing to show is in just above number 5, we have an entry called Surname eBooks. Surname eBooks. So let's click that. And if I scroll down a bit to surnames, you'll see, for example, the name Allen. So let's click on that link in surnames.
You want
And what it does,
Albania?
Allen, A-L-L-E-N. Do you see that link in the alphabetical A's? Okay,
Got it.
so basically this opens up a biography book on a man named Jira Isham Allen, a Montana pioneer. So you can find lots of free, downloadable, printable surname books here using this. Let's close this particular tab, go back to the ebooks, and let me show you one other. Oh, that was, by the way, was from hathitrust.org, which has a huge collection of free ebooks. Another great source is the Internet Archive. So this particular surname, Ainsworth, which is right underneath Allen, let's click Ainsworth. And here we can just page through and get Ainsworth Families in America. So this is a free ebook that you can also explore, print, download. It has a little bit of a different interface on the Internet Archive, which incidentally is a great site for finding all sorts of free genealogical materials, whether they be ebooks or pictures, references, that type of thing. Okay, we'll close that up. Okay, let's go over to Ancestry. One thing I want to show here, in the Ancestry menu at the top, project number 7 near the bottom is called DNA. So if you have taken a DNA test, for example, from Ancestry, you'll see some basic goals across the top, like genetics research. These are shared across all of these partners, Family Search, Ancestry, MyHeritage, whatever. But the ones with the AN, for example, goal number 4, DNA matching, let's click that. And this gives you step-by-step instructions for what you would do if you have taken an Ancestry DNA test. How to get your ethnicity results, choice number B, explore your matches so you can connect with possible cousin matches and people who are sharing segments of your DNA. So it gives you lots of different options and tools. Um, Number 7, DNA research tools, goal 7 across the top there, gives you some great tools, and these are third-party free items. One thing I should mention is that the Family History Guide, in the Family History Guide, we link to free resources. So you're not going to click on a link and then it will say, oh, to read this article or to continue, please send us, X dollars or subscribe to our something or other. We are all about free and easily accessible. So that's the way that we operate there. Minor exceptions are we do talk a lot about Ancestry, which of course is a paid site, unless you're at a family search center or affiliate library, that type of thing. All right, so let's hop over here to, we're going to skip some things, a media menu. Just briefly, in the media menu, we have a blog that you can subscribe to. We have a YouTube channel. We have Twitter, Pinterest, all of these different resources so you can find out what's going on with the Family History Guide and stay up to date there. Let's go over to the countries menu. Okay, so the Family History Guide has a huge assortment of country pages with research tips and links that you can use to further your research in whatever country that you're interested in. So Steve, if you could go down to British Isles, it's about
Oh,
halfway
I just
down.
brought up Lithuania. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. In the countries, and by the way, Steve, I think is doing a fantastic job. I can't see what you're doing, but I have faith that it's working well. So I really appreciate your efforts on this. So in
Okay,
the
good.
countries menu, if you could click the title that says British Isles,
Got it.
then you'll see it opens up a sub list there. And you could go to, for example, Ireland. Let's click that in the sub list. And here the goals across the top are research, civil registration, immigration, all these different types of things. And if we scroll down in goal number 1, you'll see the familiar steps and links to articles and videos with some great resources there. Okay, let's go back to the countries menu and just hover over the top there. And the second item down in the countries menu is all countries. This is a different way to get to countries. It's an alphabetical list. So let's click all countries.
You did.
And okay, and here we have an alphabetical list. I could get to Ireland the same way, or actually let's go to Denmark in the list alphabetically here. And you can see that we have, again, all of the resources for doing Danish research there. Okay, so basically you can use either of those methods to find all of the major countries that you might be interested in. Let's go back to all countries that we were just looking at, that alphabetical list. And what if your country of interest is not in that list? Well, the help there is scroll down just a little bit, and on the left edge, there's an entry called More Countries. Do you see that, Steve?
He's
Click.
got it.
Yeah, More Countries. Open that up, and it turns into a very long list alphabetically of countries. So you could click like Aruba, for example, and it would take you to some resources you could use there. So with these smaller countries, basically the idea is that these are countries that do not have a lot of records or resources, but they have some. And so we've collected them all together in this More Countries list there. Okay, back in the countries menu, one other thing to show, near the bottom of the countries menu, is a link called ethnic. So we're going to click that. Countries, ethnic. Oh, and you actually have to hold on it.
We've
African
got it.
American. Yeah. Okay. So let's go to Native American.
I'm
And
not
here you
there
have
yet.
goals. Yeah, you have goals and
I'm not.
research.
I'm not getting a hot link on countries ethnic.
Okay, so ethnic, you may have to just pause and then scroll down. And are you seeing Native American, African American when you click ethnic?
Well, I'm not. I'm not getting a link on ethnic. It's just. It's not a hot link.
Oh, it's below South America. Does
Oh,
your
it's in the other.
it's in the countries menu, right?
Okay.
So just below South America, there's an ethnic link.
Up above.
And then did you click that and do you see the sub entries there?
I don't see the ethnic link.
Okay, do you see South America in the countries menu?
Point point to the countries up across the top, Steve. Point to
It's the con
countries across the top.
yeah,
There.
it's the countries
Now
menu,
drop down. Now
not
scroll
Oh,
down
I
to
see.
that.
Okay. I was on a lower menu. Got it.
Yep.
yeah, got it. Okay, so do you see the ethnic link below South America?
Yep.
There. Oh,
Okay, good. Yeah, click that, open it up, and it might be kind of tiny, but scroll down and you'll see Native American.
I'm there.
Okay, super. All right, so Native American, again, there are several goals, links to articles, videos about doing Native American research. So we have in that ethnic menu, there's African American, Asian, Basque, Hispanic, Jewish, Native American, lots of things. Okay, so now in that same country menu, below the ethnic entry is countries KB. Let's click on that one. It's the very last item in the
I'm there.
drop-down menu.
He's there.
Okay, countries knowledge base. So this is similar to the research knowledge base that we saw before, but it's oriented towards countries. In the top, you can see these three-letter acronyms. So if you go to GER for Germany, for example, you could click church records or civil registration, and you get these bite-sized nuggets of information. Now, this is very handy if you are, for example, starting to do research in a country that you're not all that familiar with, and you're not used to the way that records are kept or the geographies or this type of thing. This is a great way to get your feet wet with doing research in a different country, the country's knowledge base. Okay, with that, let's move over. This is in the countries drop-down menu. Third item from the top is United States. Let's click that link.
There.
Okay, so United States, there are a lot of goals. You can see them across the top. We've actually divided them into section A, B, C, D, E, and so forth. I'm just going to take two for example. So um, in the C section, census, do you see number 2 by decades? That's the one we want to go to now.
There.
Goal number 2, decades. All right, so if you do a closed choices up in the top area there,
There.
you can see all of the different topics we have here in the choices, and you can basically zero in on censuses from any decade that they were taken in the United States. Open up any of those like the 1920 census, and you've got examples, information links, articles, videos, that type of thing. Some great information, as well as up at the top of the particular goal, you've got links to census headings and the particular questions that were asked in the different censuses so that you can get an idea of how to use them more effectively. So that's a quick flyby on census records by decade. In the section E up at the top, military, let's go to number 2 by conflict. E, military, 2 by conflict. And this takes us to Revolutionary War records. and Civil War records, and basically all the major conflicts of the United States and how to find records for them. Okay, and there's a lot more we haven't covered here. There's all sorts of resources for immigration and church records, land and property, newspaper, vital records, all of those you can explore. Okay, another thing I want to show is let's scroll all the way to the top of the United States page. So we see the Statue of Liberty picture there in the upper right.
We're there.
Just below the Statue of Liberty picture is a list of US states alphabetically. So we're going to click, let's click Washington. So we click Washington, and here's the goals up here. And for each of the 50 states, these are the goals pretty much in order there. Let's go to number 3, vital and census records. This is across the top. Goal number 3, vital and census records. And here we have the links to articles and videos and so forth. Okay, now one thing you may have been wondering about, what are these lightning bolts that accompany some of the goals here? These signify quick links, and in the Family History Guide, a quick link is a resource that takes you directly to a records search screen. So if I go down to choice B, Explore Washington Birth Records, you'll see this little lightning bolts section that says quick links, and the first one says FS Washington Birth Records. So that's for family search. So if I click that link, look what happens. Immediately, I go to the family search screen for Washington birth records, 1869 to 1950. Notice I didn't have to wend my way all over family search and try to figure out, okay, how do I find this collection and where should I be looking? The quick links help avoid that extra bit of work. So you've been learning about a topic, you've been exploring birth records, the concepts, and now you're ready to do some actual searches, and so away you go. So back in that quick link section, just below the one we just clicked that said Washington birth records, there's an AC, and that stands for ancestry. And this is a Washington birth index from the ancestry collection there, and you can search that. Now, something I should mention is you may or may not have full access to these ancestry record collections, depending on where you are. It may require a subscription, although some collections are free access. One way to get around that is to visit a family search center where all of the collections from Ancestry pretty much and the others, Find My Past, My Heritage, they're all free there, or an affiliate library. Anyone that has a family search subscription as a library, you can get free access to those records there as well. Okay, so quick links, super important. And these are not just for US states, but any country. Like we were in Ireland, you could go back and go through tons and tons of quick links there and just find instant access to different records that you might need. Okay, one more thing to show, all the way at the bottom, keep scrolling all the way to the bottom of any of these Washington goals. At the bottom of the page, you'll see a section called Washington counties. So if you notice over here, the green means that it's a link to the family search reference for that county. A stands for ancestry, L link pendium, G genealogy Inc., U US Gen Web, F Facebook. So if we go over here to Clark County, we can click on Clark, and that brings up the family search reference page for Clark County. We can close that up again. One that I wanted to show you particularly is the L for link pendium. Link pendium is a very handy site. Let's click the L on the Clark County entry there. And you'll see as you scroll down through this, this is a humongous resource. Link pendium has put together a huge assortment of links and very handy resources for all of the counties in the United States. And what we've done in the Family History Guide is we've given you basically options. You can use family search, ancestry, link pendium, US Gen Web. each of these have slightly different focuses and resources for the way that they do county research. So you have the option of exploring any of those that you like there.
So Bob, I
Okay,
clicked
yeah.
on the cemeteries for Clark County, and they're missing about probably 80% of them.
Okay, you clicked Clark, or where are you
I was
clicking
on I was
exactly?
on Clark, and then I clicked
What
cemeteries.
was it Clark Linkpendium or Clark just the name?
Link Pendium. Right now, I'm at linkpendium clark.wad or dash wad.genealogy/cem, and
Okay,
they have to be missing, 35 to 40 cemeteries.
yes. So it depends on which focus, which area. So Linkpendium may be more bare or sparse on this particular thing, but you may find US GenWeb or some of the others may have a much more complete set. Does that make sense?
Well, Clark County Genealogical Society has the best list.
Yes. So it does take a little bit of digging to find out, which are the best. So these these sites offer lots of information and some more complete than others. And so you will know on a local level, what is best targeted towards what's here. Okay. All right, and that's counties. So that pretty much takes us through the geographical resources. Also in England, if you're back in the countries menu here, countries menu, England, you'll notice below the picture of England, there are links to 40 England counties. So you could click any of them if you wanted to and do Cheshire research or Lancashire or whatever you're interested. Also in the countries menu, there's a Canada page, and below the Canadian picture there, you have links for all of the Canadian provinces. So those are good ways that you can drill down into information that way. All right, let's skip over to the vault. This is up in the upper menu, and let's go to the main page. That's the first link underneath the vault. So you may have noticed in the family history guide that there are never more than like one or two links to articles and videos per step. And we did that on purpose. We don't want to overload people with resources. But what if you were really interested in finding more information about a particular topic that you're interested in? Then the vault is where you want to go. So if I look across the top, here are all of these different categories. In MEM memories, I could click the link for stories, for example. Let's click that one. And then you see all of these links to videos and articles for how to write family history stories, how to get the details in them. And this is a great way to find additional information. Um, just under this number 14 stories, there's a link that says main. And basically, if you click that link, you're going to go to the main part of the family history guide where it talks about stories and sketches and so forth. And then there's a vault, a black vault button over on the right side. And if you click
I,
that,
I'm, I'm behind you.
okay. All right. So are you at the number 14 stories?
Okay, I see stories now.
Okay, yeah. So I was mentioning that there's a bunch of videos and articles you can use for further information.
Yes.
There's a main link. Do you see it directly under stories?
Okay,
Okay, when you click that
I'm there.
main link, it takes you to the main part of the family history guide where it talks about stories, sketches, recording biographies, and there are a few primary resources there. And then there's a vault button. It's a black button. And when you click that on the right side of the page there, when you click that, it goes back to where you were in the vault. So you can skip back and forth between the vault and the main parts of the family history guide. Okay, so the vault is a place where you can obviously spend a lot of time and zero in on topics that are really of interest to you. All right, let's hop over to the tracker. This is the top menu. It's the next to last entry in the top. And let's click this link that says online tracker. Okay, so this will be a little tough to demonstrate because you're going to just see like a login page, and you have to, this is the only place in the family history guide that actually does require a username and password, because we're saving some of your learning information there. So basically, in a nutshell, you would need to create a free account on the online tracker with a username and password. Usually username is your email account. Once you get in there, then you'll be able to click on any of the projects or goals and so forth, and you'll basically see a note-taking area. So you can type in notes about whatever you're learning on these particular goals, whether it's countries or tasks that you're trying to do in MyHeritage or Ancestry, whatever the thing is, you can type in notes. And then you can also move slider bars back and forth, and the slider bars correspond to I haven't started this particular thing yet, or I've started it, or I'm good at it, or I'm proficient at it. So it gives you a way to measure your progress in the family history guide. Okay, and it's hard to demonstrate there without sharing, but once you create an account, you'll be able to see that pretty easily. Okay, and then the last thing in the miscellaneous menu, we have a contact us button. You can click that, and if there's a suggestion that you have, or you want to schedule another conference with us, or whatever you want to do, you can contact us that way. All right, so that is a quick tour of the Family History Guide, and hope you've enjoyed it. Let's open up to questions, if we might. And thank you so much, Steve, for um, doing the invisible job of, of presenting everything for us. Appreciate that.
I have a first question, I guess. How long did it take you to put this site together? This is immense.
It is immense. The website launched in 2015. And so it has been under 7 years of constant development. So I would answer that question by saying it was done a bit at a time over 7 years. And we're constantly updating the website, because if something changes, like if screens or approaches change in Family Search or Ancestry, we need to make those changes. And obviously there are new blog articles and things, resources coming on all the time. So we make sure that we're staying up to date with what would provide you a good experience.
How many people do you have helping you, Bob?
Thousands and thousands. No, I'm just kidding. No, we have a management team of about 10 people. And so the good news is that we're pretty light on our feet, and we're able to respond to requests and directions pretty quickly. The bad news is that we're all pretty much overworked. Uh, but one thing that we're working on, this is not for public dissemination yet, but we're working on a content management system. So basically, this is a portal so that genealogical societies, around the country, they could enlist volunteers to keep up particular sections of the family history guide without having to know coding and HTML and JavaScript and all that kind of stuff. They would just go into an easy editing portal and be able to maintain the pages. So if there's someone who was interested in state of Washington research, they could be in there changing and updating articles and adding links and that type of thing. So that's the direction that we're moving. Kind of a wiki type of approach, but it's a good looking wiki, not like the bare bones wiki that you usually see on the website.
Fabulous resource,
Thank
tremendous
you.
amount of information.
And we hope that you can find things well. If all else fails, remember that blue magnifying glass button, and you can find things pretty quickly there. But the more you get around the site, you'll get familiar with where to look for particular things.
My comment might be that the color of some of those choices was hard to see.
Yeah, the light blue or greenish blue.
Yes,
Yeah. Um, yeah, we've had that comment once or twice. We're thinking about, the possibilities there, but we appreciate that comment.
maybe just darken it a little.
Yeah, could be. There's lots of things that go into the design and the color scheme and so forth, so we have to figure those out, what the best approaches are.
Yeah. Well, the comments in the chat are saying looking fabulous presentation, excellent presentation and website. Looking forward to checking out the surname list and the list of family histories. And Steve, thank you for providing the display. That was very helpful, and you were certainly a lot faster at that than I would have been.
I think Steve had some ESP stuff going on there. That was very much appreciated.
Yes. Any other questions?
Thank you very much, Bob. This was great.
Thank you so much, Elsie.
So Bob,
Here,
what do you do about former countries that are no longer countries?
oh, okay. So
I didn't find a link. I was looking for down your list there for the Duchy of Schleswig.
right. So you're going to have things like that, and like Prussia and um, Ottoman Empire. The list goes on. How we've handled that is that we go to the current country where those former countries might have been geographically located. So if you're looking for Prussian research, for example, you would start in Germany, but you'd also want to look in Austria, Poland. Kind of use the modern day countries as a jumping off point, and then you'll see links to former countries and geographical areas, as well as ethnic and religious, lots of Jewish resources that tended to span different countries. So does that help?
Yeah, I did. I was just looking for that. But the reason I asked specifically about Schleswig is it flip-flopped over the course of 500 years between Denmark and Germany. And trying to figure out where records are at any one point in time is really, really difficult.
Understood. Yeah, absolutely. So it takes some detective work, but hopefully these articles and videos and databases will help you narrow down that search. And it's the goal of the Family History Guide to put those resources at your fingertips in the easiest and most efficient way that we can.
Bob, a comment. Clark County Genealogical Society is an affiliate of Family Search.
Okay.
Just for your information.
Okay, so at the Clark County Genealogical Society, do they have a premises, a building, a library,
Yes,
something like that?
yes, we have a building. We have a
Okay.
building and a library, and
Okay. So you would
several.
be able to access all of the premium sites such as Ancestry, MyHeritage, and then all of the things that Family Search provides for free at their Family Search centers, such as uh, British Newspaper Archive, newspaper collection. I mean, there's a list of probably about 20 things that are subscription sites. You would be able to see all of those there for free as well.
I don't think so. We would be able to see things on Family Search that you may not be able to see the originals at home, but
Right.
we do not have access to MyHeritage or Find My Past. We have a subscription to Ancestry. and
Okay,
we are a
so you're not,
member of New England Historic and Genealogical Society,
okay.
but that's all.
Okay, so you're probably not an affiliate library then. If you were an affiliate library, as they term it, then you would have access to those additional resources. Okay, thanks for clarifying.
Well, if we have access, I'm not aware of it, but
You could ask, say, hey, are we an affiliate library of Family Search? Then we should have access to these others.
we have an official designation as an affiliate library, but
Okay, then my
don't seem
understanding
to
is
have access
there are extra, yeah.
to those other subscription sites. I think the Family History Library themselves have subscription access.
Okay, well, that's a good question to follow up with the Genealogical Society to see what type of subscription they have and what's available.
Yeah. So
Any other questions? The Family History Guide Association will be at Roots Tech. We will have a virtual booth that you can look at online. And if any of you are going there in person, be sure to stop by our on-site booth in Salt Lake and say hello.
okay. Well, thank you very much, Bob. That was very
You're welcome.
interesting. We appreciate your expertise.
Always happy to help. If you have any questions, send us an email, info@thefhguide.com. Happy to help.
Okay.